General Hospital will reveal recent spoilers, and updates from General Hospital reveal that Carly is standing at a major crossroads in her life, as 3 significant challenges are about to hit her all at once, forcing her to make difficult and consequential decisions. Amid the increasingly chaotic atmosphere in Port Charles, every move Carly makes now carries weight, not just for herself, but for the loved ones around her. With upcoming episodes slowly unveiling intense developments, viewers can expect a gripping storyline where Carly must confront her past, navigate present turmoil, and face looming threats from the future, all escalating into an emotional journey that promises to leave no heart untouched. After an unending series of upheavals, Carly once again finds herself at the center of an intense confrontation. This time with Nina, a woman she has never truly trusted, now coming to her with a request that forces Carly to weigh morality, justice, and the protection of those she loves most. The latest updates reveal that Carly will soon be pulled into a dangerous situation when Nina unexpectedly approaches her with a proposition that's anything but simple. Racked with guilt over her past, most notably her role in drugging Drew and the chaos surrounding Jacinda, Nina is beginning to spiral, realizing her long-buried secrets are on the verge of being exposed. Carly, who has long suspected Nina was not innocent in the recent wave of darkness sweeping Port Charles, now holds a truth that could destroy Nina's carefully constructed new life, especially her fragile relationship with Willow. Knowing that Carly is aware of her direct involvement in the scandal with Drew and Jacinda, Nina is growing increasingly desperate. Facing the real possibility of her lies coming to light, Nina sees only one option left: beg Carly to stay silent. In a final plea to protect the fragile bond she's built with Willow, the daughter she has long yearned to love as a mother, Nina will approach Carly and ask for a solemn vow of secrecy. She will pour out every justification she can muster, from guilt and remorse to fear of losing the only family she has left. But for Carly, the situation is far more complex. This is not a harmless secret to be swept under the rug. This truth involves a near-fatal act, a deceitful scheme, and a threat to the fragile peace of Port Charles. Carly must now decide what is right and what must be done. She cannot ignore Nina's actions, but she also knows that exposing the truth could emotionally devastate Willow, trapping her once again in the crossfire of adult secrets and consequences she never asked for. Carly has always operated by a code of protecting her family above all, but will that code push her to keep quiet for Willow's sake, or compel her to speak out in the name of justice? Things take an even darker turn when Nina's request doesn't stop at an emotional plea. According to upcoming spoilers, she may even issue a veiled threat should Carly refuse, implying that other secrets, perhaps ones concerning Carly or those she holds dear, could also come to light. The already tense relationship between these two women now stands on the brink of destruction. Carly is not easily manipulated, but she is not heartless either. This confrontation becomes a test of compassion, resilience, and maternal instinct for Carly. While Nina clings desperately to her final chance to hold on to a connection, Carly is thrust into the role of judge, forced to weigh every wrong choice Nina has ever made. Once the truth is known, Carly cannot unlearn it. But how she responds to it could change everything. Will she stay silent for Willow's sake, or bring the truth into the light to prevent future harm? The upcoming episodes of General Hospital promise to deliver explosive emotional moments, as Carly is faced with a decision that not only impacts her and Nina, but also marks a turning point in the lives of Willow, Drew, and the entire Port Charles community. As the layers of deception are slowly peeled away, viewers will see Carly in one of her most defining roles, not just as a mother or a friend, but as a guardian of truth, holding the power to either save or destroy everything with a single choice. As tension quietly brews beneath the surface of Port Charles, Carly is once again poised to become a pivotal player in a crisis that threatens to fracture one of the town's most enduring alliances. Jason, caught in a storm of conflict surrounding Sunny's increasingly unpredictable decisions, may find himself leaning on Carly in ways he hasn't in years. At the heart of the turmoil is Sunny's controversial plan to sell off one of his most strategic assets, his control of the Port Charles docks, to Jen Sidwell, a name that sends alarms ringing for anyone who has ever dealt with the darker undercurrents of the city. Sidwell is a figure who has long been associated with ruthless ambition, shifting allegiances, and a reputation for profiting off chaos. To Jason, who has always operated with a strict code of loyalty and control, Sidwell represents a dangerous gamble, one that could jeopardize not only their territory but the entire network of influence they've carefully maintained. But Sonny, driven perhaps by desperation, arrogance, or an agenda that even his closest allies don't fully understand, refuses to see the warning signs. When Jason confronts him about the risks, it ignites a bitter argument that leaves both men shaken and at odds. Recognizing that logic alone may not sway Sonny, Jason turns to the one person who has always had a unique ability to reach him, Carly. Her bond with Sonny, complicated as it is, remains deeply rooted in shared history, mutual pain, and years of love that even separation could not fully erase. Carly understands the way Sonny thinks in a way no one else does, and Jason knows that if there is anyone who can appeal to what remains of Sonny's better judgment, it's her. As Jason brings Carly into the fold, a new layer of strategy begins to form. Carly is not just stepping in as a friend or former lover, she becomes a tactical partner, someone capable of navigating the emotional terrain Sonny refuses to acknowledge. She understands that this isn't just about business. It's about the erosion of trust, the fear of losing control, and the legacy Sonny once fought to preserve. In private meetings and quiet conversations, Carly and Jason begin to piece together a plan. Not just to stop the sale, but to help Sonny see what's truly at stake. Their efforts are not without resistance. Sonny, increasingly paranoid and erratic, interprets their intervention as betrayal. He believes they are undermining him, and his temper flares with the intensity of someone whose world is slipping through his fingers. But Carly stands firm. She reminds Jason that Sonny's pride, while formidable, can't be allowed to blind him to danger. Together, they work through every angle, gathering intel on Sidwell, tracing financial connections, and uncovering motives that prove this deal isn't just risky, it's potentially catastrophic. As the strategy session draws near, Carly and Jason prepare for one final attempt to confront Sonny with the truth. Carly knows the stakes. If they fail, Sonny may go through with a decision that could dismantle everything they've worked for. But if they succeed, it won't just save the docks, it could save Sonny from himself. Carly, never one to back down from a challenge, is ready to face the emotional fallout that might come with pushing too hard. She understands that helping Jason isn't just about loyalty, it's about preventing a man she once loved from making a mistake that could cost them all dearly. In the coming episodes of General Hospital, viewers will see a fierce and focused Carly stepping back into the heart of the action, not as a passive observer, but as a powerful force capable of shaping outcomes in ways few others can. Her dynamic with Jason, built on decades of unwavering trust, becomes the cornerstone of a mission that could alter the power balance in Port Charles. And as the tension between Sonny and his inner circle reaches a boiling point, Carly's influence may be the only thing standing between a disastrous decision and the survival of everything they hold dear. In the winding corridors of Port Charles, where secrets fester and family legacies often entangle with emotional peril, an explosive truth begins to crystallize in the mind of one woman who has been silent too long, Lulu. After months of uncertainty, shadowy glances, and instinctive maternal unease, Lulu is finally certain of what her heart had suspected all along: Gio is not just any teenager. He is the biological son of Dante and Brooke Lynn. This revelation doesn't come easily, nor without emotional whiplash. It builds quietly, a storm gathering behind Lulu's composed exterior. It begins when she witnesses Lois, Brooke Lynn's colorful and fiercely maternal mother, rushing to Joe's aid after Dante hurls shocking accusations at Rocco, blaming him for a near-fatal incident brought on by alleged drunken recklessness. The moment is tense, raw, and telling. Lulu doesn't miss Lois's reaction, nor the way she throws herself protectively around Gio, as though shielding more than just a family friend. It's a mother's instinct, a deep, primal gesture that resonates too closely with the feelings Lulu has long tried to suppress. Haunted by a gnawing intuition, Lulu begins quietly digging for answers. She approaches Ned, under the pretense of reminiscing, but every question is loaded, every smile a distraction. She pieces together dates, conversations, disappearances, and reappearances. The timeline of Joe's birth is no longer a blur, it's sharp, distinct, and damning. With each clue she confirms, her certainty strengthens. The puzzle is complete. Joe's existence is the direct result of a long-concealed connection between Dante and Brooke Lynn, a secret buried under years of distractions, lies of omission, and willful silence. Armed with this newfound clarity, Lulu wastes no time. She seeks out Carly, the gatekeeper of the Corinthos family and a woman known for her unrelenting instinct to protect those she loves, sometimes at any cost. But Carly, ever the strategist, is not easily shaken. Even when Lulu delivers her chilling assertion, "It's Gio. He's their son." "I'm sure of it," Carly remains composed. Her expression may flicker, but her resolve does not. She listens, but she does not bend. Carly knows Lulu's return to the fold is a ticking time bomb, and this revelation threatens to detonate every fragile relationship currently holding the family together. If Gio truly is Dante and Brooke Lynn's son, the ramifications stretch beyond personal betrayal. It could undermine every dynamic they've worked so hard to stabilize, especially between Rocco, who is already spiraling, and Gio, who has barely found his place in the family. Carly has spent months watching Gio quietly integrate into the Quartermain Corinthos world. She has seen Brooke Lynn's overprotectiveness, Dante's conflicted emotions, and Lois's sudden reappearance, signs she can no longer ignore. Yet, Carly understands something that Lulu doesn't: truth without strategy is a weapon too dangerous to wield blindly. She doesn't deny Lulu's suspicions, but she also doesn't validate them outright. Because for Carly, timing is everything, and unleashing the truth in a moment of emotional fury could ruin lives. Tensions reach a boiling point in the week of May 12 to 16, when Lulu and Carly are finally drawn into a heated confrontation. Carly, who has long seen herself as the protector of this sprawling, complicated family, is forced to reckon with Lulu's fierce determination to expose what she sees as a grievous injustice. Lulu, still reeling from the emotional upheaval of Dante's choices and the agony of missed time with her own son, believes the truth must come out, immediately, regardless of the consequences. Carly, however, urges restraint, warning that Gio is emotionally vulnerable, and any misstep could destroy the progress he's made. The confrontation is less of a conversation and more of a reckoning. Lulu accuses Carly of protecting the liars at the expense of the innocent. Carly fires back that Lulu doesn't understand the minefield she's walking into. The stakes are too high, and the emotional stability of not just Gio but also Brooke Lynn, Rocco, and even Dante hang in the balance. But Carly's concern is not only for the boys, it's also for the chaos that could be unleashed upon the entire Corinthos Quartermain legacy. If Lulu pushes forward with her plan to confront Brooke Lynn and Dante, or worse, tells Gio directly, the fallout could be irreversible. Relationships could fracture beyond repair. Loyalties could be questioned. And once spoken, the truth could never be pulled back. As this emotionally explosive week unfolds, viewers can expect General Hospital to dive deep into themes of identity, betrayal, and the price of truth. Carly, never one to back down from a moral war, finds herself forced into a position she both dreads and understands all too well. She must weigh the importance of family unity against the right to know one's origins. She must protect a truth she never asked to hold, all while trying to keep a young man from unraveling at the seams. And Lulu, no longer the silent bystander, now stands at the precipice of a life-altering decision. She knows who Gio is. The question is, will she honor Carly's plea for patience and strategic compassion, or will she light the fuse that sets Port Charles ablaze? In the days ahead, revelations will collide with denial, loyalty will be tested, and buried truths will claw their way into the light. One way or another, the truth about Joe's parentage is no longer just a suspicion, it's a storm waiting to break. And when it does, no one will remain untouched. Carly's protective instincts will soon be pushed to the limit as she intensifies her efforts to prevent Lulu from uncovering a secret that could shatter multiple lives. Having long served as the unofficial guardian of her family's secrets, Carly knows the devastating consequences that can erupt when the truth is revealed before its time, and she's now more convinced than ever that Lulu's relentless search for answers will end in chaos. At the heart of this looming storm is Brooke Lynn, who has raised Gio with quiet resolve and unwavering love, and Dante, who has kept a measured distance from the truth for reasons known only to him and a very small circle. Their shared decision to keep Joe's parentage hidden was never born of malice, but rather from a complicated blend of regret, protection, and fear of what the truth might do to a fragile boy trying to find his place in a turbulent world. Carly has respected that choice, even as she's quietly kept a watchful eye on every piece of the puzzle, every shift in body language, every protective glance from Lois, every moment of hesitation in Brooke Lynn's voice. But Lulu, newly returned and emotionally reignited, poses a threat to that carefully constructed silence. Though Carly has already issued clear warnings to Lulu, insisting that exposing Joe's true identity would do more harm than good, her concerns now turn into full-blown alarm when she discovers that Lulu hasn't backed off. Instead, she's doubled down on her pursuit, gathering fragments of truth with the persistence of someone chasing a ghost she refuses to stop believing in. Lulu is fully aware of Carly's stance, and she no longer views it as guidance, but as obstruction. To her, Brooke Lynn's secret of adoption and Dante's complicity represent a betrayal not only of trust, but of motherhood itself. The idea that her own son was hidden, raised in secrecy, never given the chance to know her, is something Lulu cannot reconcile without action. And now, emboldened by new clues and intuitive certainty, Lulu is closing in on a theory she can no longer ignore. Carly's worst fears are confirmed when she receives word that Lulu has formed a new and specific suspicion, one that could blow everything apart. She now believes that Gio Palmieri is not just a troubled teen with a mysterious past. She suspects that Gio is the grown version of the son she and Dante once had, thought lost in time and circumstance, now standing before them with no knowledge of the blood that connects him to both. The sheer magnitude of this theory sends shockwaves through Carly. She knows Lulu well enough to understand that once she becomes convinced of something, she doesn't stop. Logic, risk, even emotional collateral damage, none of it will slow her down once her mother's heart locks onto a belief. And Carly knows what that kind of fire can do when aimed in the wrong direction. As Carly processes Lulu's growing certainty, she finds herself in an impossible position. If Lulu is right, and Carly increasingly fears she is, the truth has already begun to unravel. But timing is everything, and Carly knows that Gio, Dante, and Brooke Lynn are not emotionally prepared for what such a revelation would mean. Gio, especially, is still in the fragile stages of forming identity and connection. To drop a bombshell about his parentage now could push him into a spiral, undoing all the slow, careful steps of progress he's made. So Carly begins her own mission, not to silence the truth, but to control its release. She steps up her interactions with Lulu, this time with more intensity, less diplomacy. She warns her of the potential destruction she could cause, of how Joe's emotional state hangs in a delicate balance. She pleads for time, for restraint, for empathy. But behind her calm, strategic facade, Carly is racing against a clock she no longer controls. Because the truth is already rippling through the cracks. Lulu is too close to back down, and Carly knows that the next confrontation may not end in a warning, it may be the explosion she's been trying to prevent all along. As the web tightens, and secrets threaten to collapse under the weight of revelation, Carly must do what she's always done, protect those she loves, even if it means carrying a truth that isn't hers to tell. In the days ahead on General Hospital, expect the stakes to rise sharply as Carly battles to keep a volatile secret buried just long enough to plan for the fallout. But with Lulu closing in and Gio standing unknowingly at the heart of a family firestorm, the question becomes not whether the truth will come out, but whether anyone will survive the wreckage when it does.